In the frozen silence of Antarctica, a discovery is made that should have stayed buried. A creature older than human civilization, trapped beneath the ice for 100,000 years, and waiting. When a research team digs it out, they believe they found the scientific breakthrough of the century. But they have no idea that this thing doesn't just kill its victims, it becomes them. And once it gets inside the camp, no one can tell who's human and who's already gone. The movie begins in the vast white emptiness of Antarctica. We see a group of researchers in a snowcat tracking a powerful signal from a strange machine. The signal is so strong it indicates they are about to find something massive buried beneath the ice. As they drive closer to the source, the ground beneath them suddenly gives way. The ice cracks open, and the snowcat plummets into a deep, dark crevasse. Miraculously, everyone inside survives the crash. When they turn on their lights to assess the damage, they cannot believe their eyes. Towering above them, frozen solid within the ancient ice, is a gigantic, otherworldly structure. It is a spaceship, and the sight of it is both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The scene then cuts away. We are introduced to a young woman named Kate. She is a paleontologist, a scientist who studies ancient life on Earth. She is working at a remote outpost when she is visited by Dr. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 and his assistant, Adam. They have come with a compelling offer. They want her to join them at a research station in Antarctica. Dr. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 explains that his team has made an incredible discovery, an unknown specimen, perfectly preserved in the ice, and they need her expertise to study it. Intrigued by this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Kate agrees to join them. The next day, they board a helicopter piloted by a man named Sam. He immediately gives them a grave warning. A massive storm is coming, and they have only 3 days to complete their work before it hits and traps them all. After a long flight over the endless ice, they arrive at the isolated research station. There, they meet the station's leader, 𝗍𝗲𝗲. He takes them to the discovery site and shows them the source of the signal. It is the spaceship, still mostly buried, a colossal and silent monument to an alien visitor. 𝗍𝗲𝗲 explains that their scans show this ship has been buried here for over 100,000 years. They only found it because its pilot attempted to escape. He then leads them to a separate block of ice, where they see the pilot itself, a monstrous, non-human creature frozen in a silent scream. The team decides their first priority is to cut the alien out of the ice and bring it back to the base for study. But with night falling and the storm looming, they postpone the work until morning. Back at the main base, Kate meets the rest of the international crew. The following day, they successfully extract the enormous block of ice containing the alien and bring it into a specially designed laboratory. The creature is a terrifying sight, even frozen solid. The entire team is excited, buzzing with the anticipation of making history. But Dr. 𝗟𝗲𝗲 preaches caution. He reminds everyone that they have no idea if the creature is dead or simply in a state of suspended animation. Before they thaw it out, he insists on taking a tissue sample to analyze. He uses a powerful drill to bore into the ice, aiming for the creature's arm. The team watches nervously, waiting for the results of the sample. They all agree that until they know it is safe, the creature must remain frozen. Despite the warnings, the mood at the base is one of pure celebration. The team has discovered alien life, and that night, they throw a party to mark the historic occasion. The festivities are in full swing when one of the crew, a man named Jameson, decides to sneak away from the party to get another look at the frozen specimen. He enters the lab and is horrified to see that the ice block is now melting. It shatters from the inside. Before he can react, a terrifying, spider-like creature, the alien, bursts from the ice block, smashes through the roof, and escapes into the night. Jameson runs back to the others in a panic, screaming that the alien is loose. The celebration instantly turns into a nightmare. The crew grabs weapons and fans out across the base in small, nervous groups to hunt the creature. They soon realize that Lars's dog is missing. Then, 2 crew members, Henrik and Olaf, hear strange noises coming from a dark workshop. Before they can identify the sound, a monstrous tendril shoots out and drags Henrik screaming into the shadows. Olaf shouts for help, and the rest of the team comes running. They corner the alien creature as it tries to escape. In a desperate move to stop it, they set it on fire. The thing burns with an unearthly shriek, but it is too late for Henrik, who is also killed in the brutal attack. The next day, Kate and Dr. 𝗟𝗟𝗲𝗀 perform an autopsy on the charred alien remains. What they discover is more frightening than anything they could have imagined. Henrik's body is still partially inside the creature. At first, they think Henrik was in the process of being digested by the alien. During the examination, Kate makes another chilling find. Embedded in the creature's flesh is a titanium plate, the same one that was inside Henrik's arm to heal a previous fracture. Kate raises a terrifying question. If the plate was inside his arm, why is it now on the outside?
That's a good question.
She takes a sample of the tissue and checks it under the microscope. She is horrified to see that the cells are not dead. The alien cells are actively attacking the human cells and then perfectly replicating them. This is the ultimate proof. The thing was in the process of perfectly replicating Henrik, right down to the smallest anatomical detail. The creature's cells are not just alien, they are imitative. They were actively transforming and replacing Henrik's human cells, taking on his exact form. This thing does not just kill its victims, it becomes them. Meanwhile, Øløv, who got some of the thing's blood on his face during the attack, is starting to feel sick. Fearing infection, the crew decides to evacuate him to a better hospital. As the helicopter, piloted by Sam, prepares to take off with Øløv and another crew member named Griggs, Kate goes to the washroom. There, she finds a pool of blood on the floor and several silver fillings. She immediately understands. Øløv was not just sick, he was infected. The thing was assimilating him, and it pushed out the non-organic parts of his body, like his fillings. If that helicopter reaches the mainland, the infection will spread across the entire world. Kate sprints outside, frantically waving her arms at the ascending helicopter. Sam sees her and understands something is terribly wrong. He begins to turn the helicopter around to land, but it is too late. Inside the cabin, Griggs suddenly convulses. His body contorts and erupts into a monstrous shape, attacking and killing Øløv. The helicopter, now a scene of chaos, veers out of control and crashes beyond a ridge in a fiery explosion. Back at the base, the remaining crew tries desperately to contact Sam, but there is only static. Edvard, the station chief, decides their only option is to travel overland to the main Russian base to get help, but Kate stops him. She shows everyone the dental fillings she found and explains the horrifying truth. This alien can copy any life form it touches. It does not just imitate appearances, it replaces you on a cellular level. The enemy could be standing right beside them, wearing a familiar face. Kate explains her horrifying discovery to the group. The alien can perfectly copy organic cells, but it cannot replicate inorganic materials like metal. That is why it expelled the silver dental fillings as it transformed. But when Kate returns to the washroom to show everyone the proof, she finds that someone has already cleaned up the blood and the fillings. This means the infected person is aware of their condition and is hiding the evidence. Now anyone in the room could be the thing. Edvard, however, dismisses her theory. He is determined to go to the Russian base for help. To stop him, Juliet suggests they hide all the vehicle keys. She takes Kate to the key cabinet, but as they stand there, Juliet's body suddenly contorts and erupts into a massive, multi-limbed monster. It attacks Kate, who barely manages to scramble out of the room and slam the door shut. The creature, instead of pursuing her, turns on another crew member, Carl, and kills him instantly. Before it can attack anyone else, Lars incinerates it with a flamethrower. Now the paranoia becomes unbearable. The team knows for certain that the thing is among them, perfectly mimicking a human. Dr. Halvorsen insists that everyone must be quarantined immediately until they can figure out who is human and who is not. To prevent the infection from spreading, Kate and Lars sabotage all the remaining vehicles and communication equipment, trapping everyone at the base. That night, two figures stumble out of the storm. It is Carter and Jameson, the two men thought to have died in the helicopter crash. They claim they survived the explosion, but no one can trust them. For all anyone knows, they could be perfect copies created by the thing. They are immediately locked in an isolated room for observation. Dr. Halvorsen and Adam begin working on a blood test to identify the imposters, but as they are preparing the samples, someone deliberately sets their lab on fire, destroying all their equipment and any chance of a scientific test. With their last hope gone, Kate proposes a simpler, more brutal method. Since the thing cannot replicate metal, she decides to check everyone's teeth for fillings. One by one, the crew members open their mouths. Those with metal fillings are declared human and moved to one side. This process reveals 4 people without any fillings. Dr. Sander Halvorsen, his assistant Adam, the leader Edvard, and a crew member named Colin. They are immediately isolated and restrained, suspected of being the thing. Lars then goes to the isolation room to bring Carter and Jameson in for the teeth check, but this is a fatal mistake. The two men overpower Lars, steal his keys and weapons, and storm into the main building. They hold everyone at gunpoint, demanding they stand down. A crew member named 𝗏𝗍𝗲 refuses to drop his weapon, and Jameson shoots him. The bullet misses its mark and instead hits a propane gas tank, triggering a massive explosion that rips through the base. The explosion causes chaos and devastation, injuring several of the survivors. As the remaining humans struggle to their feet in the smoky wreckage, they take the four bound suspects and retreat to a more secure area of the base to decide their fate. As the survivors move the injured 𝗍𝗲𝗲 to another room, the unthinkable happens. His body suddenly convulses and erupts into a horrific, multi-limbed creature. It attacks everyone in a frenzy. In the brutal assault, Adam, Jameson, and Lars are all badly wounded. The team tries to burn the monster, but it is too fast. It grabs Adam's body, assimilating him into its own monstrous form, and smashes its way out of the room to escape. Back in the wrecked lab, it becomes clear that Lars and Jameson are now infected too, their bodies writhing in pain as the alien cells take over. Knowing there is no hope for them, and to prevent further suffering and spread, Kate makes the agonizing decision to use the flamethrower on them, ending their lives before the transformation is complete. Now only Kate and Carter are left, the last two humans standing in the devastated base. They know that the original thing, now having absorbed others, is still on the loose. They split up to hunt for the remaining monsters, Dr. Halvorsen and 𝗍𝗲𝗲. Carter soon comes face to face with a horrifically transformed 𝗍𝗲𝗲, who attacks him. Just in time, Kate arrives and incinerates the creature with the flamethrower. At that moment, they see headlights cutting through the storm. Dr. Halvorsen, now fully revealed as the Thing, has managed to repair one of the snowcats and is speeding away. Kate and Carter frantically get another vehicle working and chase after him. The trail leads them directly to the ancient alien spacecraft buried in the ice. They follow Halvorsen's tracks into the cavernous ship. Suddenly, after being dormant for millennia, the ship's engines roar to life. The powerful vibrations shake the entire cavern, causing massive slabs of ice to break loose from the ceiling. As Kate and Carter try to flee, Kate slips and falls deep inside the alien vessel. Carter calls out for her, but gets no response. When Kate regains consciousness, she is stunned by the sight of the ship's interior, a vast and technologically advanced chamber. Carter finds his way in to rescue her, but they are ambushed by the Halvorsen thing, which has now become a massive, terrifying monster. It attacks Kate, but in a final, desperate move, she pulls the pin on a grenade and throws it directly into the creature's gaping maw. The explosion tears the alien apart and critically damages the ship, causing it to power down for good. Exhausted and traumatized, Kate and Carter are the only two left alive. As they catch their breath, Kate asks what they should do next. Carter points into the distance and says there's a Russian gas station about 50 miles away where they can find help. But as he speaks, Kate notices something is wrong. The earring that Carter always wore is missing from his ear. It was the one piece of metal that proved his humanity. She realizes in that instant that the real Carter is dead, and the Thing has perfectly copied him, expelling the earring during its transformation. Without a word of warning, and with cold finality, Kate raises the flamethrower and engulfs the impostor in flames, killing the last of the creatures. The next morning, a rescue helicopter piloted by a man named Matthias arrives at the burning, silent base. He is horrified by the scene of destruction and the scattered, charred bodies. Before he can fully comprehend the nightmare, he is confronted by Lars, the Norwegian station leader from the beginning of the film, who holds him at gunpoint and forces him to open his mouth, checking his teeth for fillings. At that moment, a dog, Lars's own dog that went missing at the start of the infestation, dashes out from a building and runs across the ice. Lars immediately understands. That is not his dog, it is the original Thing, having survived everything. He screams at Matthias to get back in the helicopter and chase it. And the movie ends with the sound of gunfire echoing across the Antarctic wilderness, as the hunt for the Thing continues, setting the stage perfectly for the events of the original 1982 film. On IMDb, the film has an average rating of 6.2 out of 10, based on over 153,000 viewer ratings. We hope you enjoyed this movie explanation. If you did, please share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching.